The twilight sky over Olympus was restless, heavy with unease. Though the gods had triumphed over Nyx, the air whispered of challenges yet to come. A threat stirred, not from beyond, but from within their own divine ranks. From the shadows emerged Nemesis, the primordial goddess of retribution. Silent for centuries, she now stepped into the realm of the gods, her form shrouded in a storm of judgment and fury. Olympus would soon face her wrath. Nemesis carried no army, for she needed none. Her power was subtle, born of arrogance and failings she sought to punish. Olympus itself would become the battlefield, as her influence began to take hold in the hearts of the gods. The gods' victory had blinded them to their hubris, and Nemesis would make them see. Her storm of retribution was only beginning, a force forged by their own arrogance. Olympus would face judgment, not from outside, but from within. In the gleaming council chambers of Olympus, Nemesis's arrival had sown chaos. Zeus called for unity, but distrust simmered among the gods. Poseidon questioned his authority, while silent doubts and buried resentments fractured their once mighty pantheon. Nemesis did not strike with brute force, but with subtlety. Her power turned mortals away from Olympus, convincing them that the gods had failed. Temples once filled with offerings fell silent, their fires extinguished. From the shadows of the mortal world and forgotten corners of creation, Nemesis rallied her forces. Spirits of vengeance and mythical beasts answered her call, their forms swirling with raw, primal energy. The cities of mortals, once adorned with temples to the Olympians, now rang with chants of retribution. The age of devotion was crumbling, replaced by the wrath of Nemesis. The gods descended to the battlefield, their divine brilliance dimmed by the weight of the challenge before them. Nemesis had prepared well, her forces vast, and her strategies flawless. Zeus's thunderbolts cracked the sky, but faltered against Nemesis's relentless onslaught. Poseidon's tidal waves turned back on him, and even swift Hermes was outmaneuvered by creatures who defied all bounds. Nemesis struck where it hurt the most, not with weapons, but by forcing the gods to confront their own flaws. Each strike reflected their hubris, their doubts, and the cracks in their unity. The Olympians are failing. The fractures in their unity became chasms, the battlefield mirroring their inner turmoil, as Nemesis's relentless presence loomed over them all. Amid the chaos, Athena's clarity shone like a beacon. She saw through Nemesis's strategy, the magnification of their weaknesses, the disunity that fueled her power. Slowly, the gods began to shift their tactics, uniting under Athena's guidance. With newfound unity, the gods turned the tide. Zeus's thunderbolts created paths for Poseidon's waves to crash through. Apollo's arrows rained from above, and Hermes darted through Nemesis's forces with blinding speed, disrupting her ranks. Nemesis, for all her power, began to falter. She had counted on their pride and disunity, not their capacity to adapt and fight as one. Her shadowy army began to waver as the gods' combined might pushed forward. The gods, humbled yet determined, unleashed their full strength, not as rulers lording over creation, but as protectors united in purpose. The tide turned decisively, and Nemesis's grasp on victory is slipping away. Zeus led the final charge, his thunderbolt glowing with an unmatched brilliance. With a single decisive strike, he shattered Nemesis's defenses, her forces scattering into the shadows. As Nemesis sank to her knees, her weakened voice echoed across the silent battlefield. Balance, she reminded them, must always be restored. Her defeat carried a warning, not an end to her message. On the edge of Olympus, Zeus stood alone, gazing out at the mortal world. The skies were calm, but he knew better. The storm had passed, but the horizon always held another. This was not the end of their trials, only a new beginning. In the distance, forces unseen stirred, waiting for the right moment to rise. For the gods of Olympus, the battle for balance and survival would never truly end.